I tell y'all what's on my mind? Can I get a couple of
They
things
say
off
they
my
need
chest?
to raise the inflation on podcast equipment as if food isn't enough. As if the eggs, as if the meat, as if the poultry, as if the fish, as if the greens, as if the produce and vegetables wasn't enough. Ladies, we got things we want to talk about. Why can't we get these things off our chests? And we want y'all to have a conversation. And we want to hear from y'all, but let's talk with intelligence and not ignorance. Let's talk and listen to learn and not just to speak back. They want to raise the inflation on podcast equipment when people are just trying to vent, trying to get their thoughts out into the universe. What's up? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son, it's your kinfolk, William Jewell L. And listen to the detail as I'm articulating. This is articulating rap. How y'all doing? I hope y'all listening. I hope y'all really taking in everything I say, because I'm just talking from the heart. I'm just talking from my mental intelligence. I'm just talking from the mind and how I absorb things, how I look at things, my perspective. It's a lot of things that's been going on recently, a lot of things that need to be talked about. Right, before I talk about these things, I want to give my respect. I want to pay my respect to Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z. I've got on this podcast the last couple weeks during his passing, and I haven't even spoke on him. But Dragon Ball Z was a revolution. Dragon Ball Z made me want to get in the gym, made me want to get swole, made me want to get like Goku. But sometimes Goku was absent-minded. Sometimes Goku didn't have a vision. He didn't have the guidance. And as I continue to watch the story and see how the plot unfolded, Goku was a man of power, but he didn't know how to use his power like he should have. And sometimes he would be an imbecile. Sometimes he would be ignorant. All he wanted to do was fight. But after that fight, he accomplished nothing. Right? The Z fighters never moved forward. They just stayed in the same position waiting for the next enemy to come. But when we think about Vegeta, when we think about the prince of all Saiyans, a man that wasn't talented naturally, but a man that was willing to put in the work, a man that was of honor, of respect, of doing anything by any means to be great. That's someone I looked at and related to. That was one of the characters that really stood out to me over the years of the Dragon Ball Z saga. Right, you got the Cell, you got the Boo, right? You got Dragon Ball Z, you got Dragon Ball GT, you got Dragon Ball Super, where they were just fighting in tournaments, and that was really what people wanted to see in Dragon Ball Z. They wanted to see Goku fight. They wanted to see him reach another level. And Vegeta was always behind him, always lagging behind, and it upset him. It made him mad, because this guy that wasn't even born of noble blood, this guy who was the crumbs of the Saiyan race, Kakarot, Goku, he was able to be powerful, more stronger than a prince of royal bloodline. This upset Vegeta. But no matter what, Vegeta never gave up. Vegeta always wanted to be better than Kakarot. Kakarot was carefree. He was like a hippie, right? He didn't care about what was going on. Chi-Chi wanted him to go to work. He didn't want to go to work. He just wanted to fight. He just wanted to practice. He wanted to get in the hyperbolical time chamber and fight with Gohan. But Vegeta, he had vision. He was on a mission. He wanted to be the prince of all Saiyans. Right, so appreciate that, Akira Toriyama. May you rest in peace. May you rest in power. And thank you for providing us with these inspirational characters. These characters that we can relate to. These characters that made us think about our health. That made us think about our aesthetics. And that made us wanted to get in the gym, because You know what happened after I watched Dragon Ball Z, after I was motivated to get in the gym, and after I got in the gym and became a trainer, after I was a trainer and got many people results? The incline press happened. Right? That's the book that's on Amazon. That's the book that's on godswill.com. That's the book on Apple Books, on Audible. And make sure you go check it out. Right? And this was derived from the premises of Dragon Ball Z. Because that passion, that purpose, that willingness to go hard and give it your all. Right? We can laugh about it now. We can rejoice. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. But let's get to the meat and the bone. Let's get to the real flavor of articulating rap. That's the music. That's the rap. That's the hip hop. That's where I deem myself an expert. And that's where I give you my opinion. And first off, we got Proud of Them. Proud of Them from Gunna and Offset. Gunna, who's been facing these snitch allegations. Gunna, who's been called a rat, who was called Gunna Tail on somebody. Gunna, a man who stood tall on that bread and butter. A man that stood tall on fuck you mean. A man that stood tall in 2023 and released an album after all of these allegations, after all of these backhanded, backsliding people came from the culture to take aim at him. Gunna, a man that rose from the darkness, a man that prevailed. Right? He wanted to get out of jail. He didn't want to be locked up. It wasn't good for his mental health. And once his mind was clear, once his mind was free of those cell walls, he created masterpieces. He created poetry up on those hip hop beats. And this is another poem, another hit in the making. And I believe it. And Offset, he couldn't deny this feature. He saw how hot Gunna was. He saw how the industry had shunned him. He saw how everyone turned their back. And Offset said, no, brother. No, brother, I come to you. I come to you and let's build. Right? Because at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron. At the end of the day, we have to put our best foot forward. At the end of the day, time waits for no man, and Young Thug is spending time in jail. Right? And Gunna is still making him money. Gunna is still making him prosperous on the outside. So Thug has been quiet. He could have spoke out from his cell. He could have spoke out from jail. He could have said anything. But he hasn't. And now Offset has used that opportunity to team up with Gunna on Proud of Them. And I just really like the track. Right? I like the beat. I like, the verses. I just like that flow, the cadence. I just like that camaraderie and just kind of how they used each other and build on that energy. So, I don't got much to say about the track, but I think that track is a hit. Like, out of all the singles that came out this week, that was the one I wanted to play the most. And the one that I wanted to play the least was Cardi B, Enough. Because I've had enough of this same flow, this same cadence. I've had enough of this same formula. Cardi B, you're beautiful. And I admire you. And I believe you're so honorable, the way that you've been able to forgive and Offset after all of his wrongdoing, after all of those altercations. Cardi B, you're a stand-up woman. You support your man. You're beautiful. I love your New York accent. I love your personality. I love your realness. I love your honesty. But Cardi B, enough? This sounds like it's up and it's stuck. It sounds like the same song you've been doing. And it's starting to aggravate me. It's starting to sound redundant. It's starting to become monotonous. The same flow, the same cadence, the same energy. I don't think the passion's there. I don't think for your love for music exists. And there's a reason why there's a separation between you and Nicki, because she can get in her pop bag. She can get in her different flows. She can get in her song bag. She can go to different tones, different vocals, different voices. She can be animated. And I hate to pit another woman up against another woman, but we kind of compare the greats to the greats. And Cardi B is considered a great, and Nicki Minaj is considered the greatest woman rapper of all time. So how could we not set the bar there? Right? So I believe Cardi, the continuousness of this type of flow, this type of cadence, the continuousness of this formula, a great beat, because that's the formula of all hip-hop tracks. Getting on a great beat and making a good song, making a good hook, right? A great beat, a good hook, that's the formula to any hit song in hip-hop. So I applaud you for getting on the great beat, but this sounds like the same song that we've heard over and over again. It sounds just like it's up and it's stuck. It sounds just like that song, and I want something different. I want something that's refreshing. I want something that's new. I want something that's sexy. Like my girl, Sexy Red. Get it, sexy. Right? And me from being down south, me from being from Texas, right? We hear that Halle Berry sample. That Halle Berry. That Halle Berry. And salute to the fam that's in Killeen. I can't think of his name right now. But salute to the fam from the 254. He originally made the song Halle Berry. Hurricane Chris took that song, made it a bigger song, made it a bigger hit, made it an anthem when we was in the black parties in college and we was dancing, shaking the tail fella, trying to get behind a girl who had a sweaty butt crack, but we didn't know it at the time because she had jeans on. And hopefully when we took her to the apartment afterwards, or hopefully when we met her at her place, she would get in the shower. She would douche a little bit and be ready to spread those legs and have some Saturday night fun after the football games. Right? But Halle Berry, get it, sexy. I know you would approve of that type of behavior. I know you would approve of that type of activity going on. Sexy Red, your personality is so sexy. Right? Because the beautifulness that you present, it comes in your confidence. It comes in your willingness to be yourself when everybody are naysayers. When everybody says you shouldn't act like that. A woman should not talk like that. A woman should not carry herself like that. And your boldness and your bravery. And you continue to be you. Rich baby daddy with Drake. You continue to be you. Shake them Drakes. You continue to be you. Ski. You continue to be you. And you continue to be you with Get It Sexy. So how could I not applaud your genius? How could I not applaud your ability to stick to what's familiar with you? How could I not uplift what you're doing? Right? Because Sexy Red is somebody that, like, she's an inspiration. Right? It's a lot of black girls that we know. It's a lot of our cousins, a lot of girls that we came up in the hood. Right? That we went to middle school with, that we went to high school with, that are more familiar with Sexy Red. They look more like Sexy Red than the Cardi B's, than the Ice Spices, than the Lottos. They resemble that Sexy Red look. And they broke our heart. And they loved us. And they let us come over when their mama wasn't home. And they loved us. And when their daddy wasn't home, they let us come over. And they loved us even more. And when their little brother was there, they told him to be quiet and go in his room. And they loved us. And Sexy Red, we love you too. You always looked out for us. You always provided us a safe place to vent, a safe place to get our frustrations out, a safe place to love. Right? And I know some of my homies that got babies by Sexy Reds. I know some of my people that fell in love with these Sexy Reds, and you broke our heart. Right? We loved you, and you played us, and you was ratchet, and you was cheating, but you made us stronger as men. Right? You made us stronger with our rational thinking. You made our emotions become more solidified, more solid, because we know, you know, how we will react to certain things. And I want to thank you, Sexy Red. I want to thank you, but I also want to thank a up and comer. Right? I also want to thank Tierra Whack. Because Tierra Whack, what you did on Worldwide Whack was beautiful, was creative, was so refreshing, was so vibrant. That energy was so radiant. Right? Because she has the range, she has the vocal capacity of a Nicki Minaj, of a Doja Cat. She has that animation, that ability of those artists. Right? But she has the lyricism, the substance that a Rhapsody does have. Right? And Tierra Whack is a dark-skinned lady. Right? A dark-skinned woman. And we see what Sexy Red, right, she's doing with her look. But sometimes people, when they talk about Ice Spice, when they talk about Cardi B, when they talk about Nicki Minaj and Doja Cat, they talk about the colorism. And I wonder if the colorism is the reason that's giving her hurdles, the reason that's blocking her from shining, a reason that's stopping her from being the star that she can become, because a beautiful dark-skinned black woman is just like chocolate, right? Will melt in your mouth. So tasty, so valuable to, other girls that look like her. And we need these people to be seen, especially the ones that's promoting that positive image, right? She just did so much on this album, Worldwide Whack. Like, this is the best album from a woman that I probably have heard since the last Rhapsody album. And Nicki did a great job, right? But she had a lot of club bangers, she had a lot of hits, she had a lot of poppy stuff. But the stuff that I like, the alternative type of stuff, just the different vibes, the different sounds, and just the creativity, experimental music, I just love that. And I want to tap more into that. And Tierra Whack, she gave me all I could tap into, right? She whacked me right across the head with that sound, with that originality, with her just being her. And I want to know more about her. I'm more curious. I looked her up, I saw her face, and that's when I was like, whoa, like I don't even recognize her face. She needs to be seen more. So Tierra Whack, make yourself more visible, because you are valuable. And your music is worth more than money can buy. Your music is precious to these young women, these women that need a positive role model. Your music is substance, it's everything, right? It's so vulnerable, but yet so brave, so courageous. So continue to do you, Tierra Whack, and continue to whack them across the head, right? And then I think we go into the football era. Right, I think we talk about Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think we talk about Justin Fields being traded to these Pittsburgh Steelers too. Right, because Kenny Pickett, he tucked his tail. He ran from competition the same way these boys run from competition in the NIL. The same way these boys don't want to compete, right, against the starters, against the first stringers. The same way these boys want to go somewhere else and have another outlook on life and have another second chance. Right? No, that's weak. Be a man, have the mental fortitude, be tough, deal with the situations. I don't care if they don't like you. I don't care if they said you wasn't going to be nothing. Right? What's meant to be will be, and if you're meant to be a starter, let it be, but don't run away from the journey. Don't run away from your fate, because fate cannot be escaped. You think you're going to start behind Jalen Hurts at the Philadelphia Eagles? You're not a leader like him. You're not squatting 600 pounds on the bench press, right? You're not a ladies' man with a bald fade talking smooth about black women to the media. You're not Hurts, right? And your career will hurt because of it. And now Russell Wilson, he's at Pittsburgh. He thought he would be competing against Kenny Pickett. But now the picket fence is gone. Now there are no more picket signs, right? But what came to place was the Justin Fields trade. And I can't believe the Birds pretty much gave him up for nothing. They were not smart enough to make a move during the season, during the offseason, during the quarterback carousel. They were not smart enough to get a great ransom for Justin Fields, right? Because if they knew they weren't going to keep him, why did they even keep him? And what happens when you hold on to things too long, they become less valuable, right? The inflation. When you're saving your money and you're putting it in the bank, but they're printing more money, right? That dollar becomes less valuable, and they kept Justin Fields on the shelf when they should have kept him moving, and he became less valuable. But now the Steelers, they saw a diamond in the rough. Mike Tomlin saw another black quarterback that he could mentor. Mike Tomlin saw another black quarterback that could learn under his tutelage. Mike Tomlin saw something. The Steelers organization saw something. The Rooney family, they saw something in Russell Wilson. They saw something in Justin Fields, a backfield of two black quarterbacks, right? And if your QB1, the pressure is on. The heat's on your neck, barreling down on you. Will you burn or will you rise? Will you ride to the occasion like an elevator in a skyscraper? Will you ride to the occasion like a rocket in Houston, Texas on an Asta liftoff? Russell Wilson, will you rise and become the starter that you should have been in the Broncos? Will you become the same player that you was in Seattle? And Justin Fields, will you just settle for the backup role? Will you settle for sitting down in the shadows and watching Russell cook? Or will you claim the throne for yourself? You see, this is something that's so entertaining. This is something that's so intriguing. Will Russ get hurt? Will Fields come back? And will Russ get back healthy? And who will they choose? Or will Russ play bad and Fields just play good enough where it makes the team better? I don't know. It's so many situations that could turn out to be, so many outcomes. I can't calculate it, but I do believe this is going to be Justin Fields' team, right? And I like Russ. I like Russ as the man. I like Russ as the husband. I like Russ as the father. But as the football player, I still have my questions about him. I still have my doubt. And the same thing goes with Justin Fields. But we'll see what adversity can do for both of them. We'll see what the struggle and pain can do for both of them. We'll see what the doubters and the naysayers can do for both of them. We'll see for the people that were talking about them in the media will do for both of them. The bad coaching, the bad forms, the bad habits that they've acquired at these other teams. We'll see what happens and how that will shake out. So, may the best man win. And I was looking at the Oscar performance last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago, I don't know. But I saw that John Cena was butt booty naked delivering an award. And they said it was an award for the costume design. He was trying to stand up for the costume design people in Hollywood to show that actors are nothing without costume design. So they'll be naked if they didn't have costume designers to design for them. Another Hollywood agenda that Cat Williams failed to mention in his interview. And Dave Chappelle said it. You talk about all these brothers, but you ain't mentioned none of these white boys. Ricky Stenicki? Nobody told me about this damn movie. Nobody had told me about this dude dressing up in a dress, putting on long stockings on, wearing heels. John Cena, the dude that was rapping, the dude that was body slamming and choke slamming people on WWE. John Cena, right? But we don't say that this is the white male emasculation. We don't say that. We just say this is comedy. This is that frat boy comedy. But if a black man did the same, oh my God, he'd be the worst name in the book. They talk about him like he was Tyler Perry. They talk about him like he was Eddie Murphy. They talk about him like he was Kevin Hart. They talk about him like the only way that you can rise in Hollywood is if you put the dress on. And John Cena, he's put the dress on. Right? He's even got butt booty naked on stage. And let's see how far his star will shine now. Because we have to call out everybody. We have to hold everybody accountable. Not just the black men, not just the black women, not just the white men, not just the white women. Asians, Latinos, Polynesians. Right? We got to talk about them all, and we got to hold them all accountable and responsible for their actions. So that's just my thought process. But let's go to the health. Right? Let's go to health and fitness, because I feel like that is a category that I need to touch on a little bit more. As somebody that is a health professional, right, I need to touch on that a little bit more. So I gave y'all all the candy. Now this is the medicine. Let's talk about the health and fitness, right? Let's talk about the foods. Right, they're saying that the processed foods have been linked to depression and anxiety. The processed foods have been linked to our intelligence and our brain activity. The processed foods have been linked to bad memory. Right, and it only makes sense because when you eat something that's unnatural, when you eat something that's not organic, right, there's going to be some type of unnatural results from it. There's going to be some type of unnatural outcomes from it, whether it be weight gain, right, that could add more to the depression, that could add more to the anxiety because you're not feeling good about how you look, right? When you have bad memory, you got all that sugar in your body, you can't think clearly, you're on the sugar high. I could see why you can't memorize. I could see why you not feeling well, because you're on that sugar diet. You're drinking all the Kool-Aid. And what you do to mix that Kool-Aid, you use a damn pound of sugar, right? So all these processed foods, a lot of this high sodium, a lot of this high sugar is not good for you, not just for the aesthetics, but they're not good for your digestive system. That's not good for your metabolism. That's not good for your gut health. And your gut health is the nucleus of your body. Like when your stomach is on point, your mind is on point. When your stomach is on point, your body's on point. When your stomach is on point, your spirit's on point, because you're not worried about your stomach hurting. You're not worried about being full. You're not worried about being bloated. You're not worried about feeling sick. So you can concentrate on running and working out and jumping. You can concentrate on writing the book or writing a paper. You can concentrate on the brain power. You can concentrate on saying your prayers, doing your meditation. You can concentrate on these things when your stomach is not ailing you. So that gut health is directly related to some of these illnesses, right? And you want to get on Ozempic. You want to get on that weight loss drug that Oprah was telling you about. But at the end of the day, you'll be skinny fat. You'll be a slim blob, right? So even though you'll have weight loss, right, your bone structure won't be right. You'll have lower bone density, right? You won't have the aesthetics because you haven't been able to build the muscle. So although you might lose the weight, if you're not eating healthy, you're not developing the proper habits, you're still not doing the things necessary for you to get real and lasting results for that quality of life. Are you going to be taking a pill forever? Or are you going to be taking Ozempic forever? Ozempic is not the Olympics. It's not a triathlon. You can't jump over these issues. You got to run straight through them. And I'm through with them. I'm through with you. This is William Jewell. Listen to me as I detail. I'm articulating. This is articulating. Right.